Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Our Three Cents, and we are going all the way back to 1997 for this one. 20 years ago, the Earth was blessed with this movie.
This movie right here. Insert picture here.
And we inserted the picture because we don't own this because it has never been released on DVD.
Really? Never on DVD at all?
Nope.
Just on videotape, huh?
Just on VHS, and we haven't been able to find one yet. I'm on the hunt, but they're like $30 on Amazon for the VHS.
I have not seen this movie since '99. This is the first time I think since '99 that I've seen it. So, yeah, it was like almost like watching a brand new movie. The only thing I remember exactly was the opening credits. That's it. Because that's so memorable.
Yeah, this movie.
That's a great sequence.
Movie is definitely one of the best openings. Probably one of my favorite movie openings ever.
From the use of the music to him going through the castle and the time crunch that he's in, and it's just as the song builds and builds and builds, they timed it just perfectly with the end of the maze he has to go through, and it was magnificent.
And in case you guys are confused, and some of you probably are, because not a lot of people have seen this movie or even really remember this movie.
Which is a shocking.
It's
terrible to think that.
This was from 1997. It stars Patrick Stewart, Vincent Kartheiser, Brad Whitford.
Not even Bradley, but Brad.
I think he was going by Brad at the time. It doesn't fit. He's a Bradley, not a Brad. Matt Craven, Annabelle Gurwitch, and some other people.
Brenda Fricker.
That's right.
Who you may know as the Pigeon Lady from Home Alone 2.
Yes. And Vincent Kartheiser basically plays a young hacker troublemaker whose younger sister goes to a private school that gets taken over by Sir Patrick Stewart and his gang of hooligans, and they are demanding $650 million for the release of all the hostages. And it's basically Home Alone meets industrial espionage meets Patrick Stewart.
Meets Toy Soldiers.
Meets Toy Soldiers? Okay.
That was kind of the same setup. As I was watching, I was like, this is kind of the same setup as Toy Soldiers.
I've never actually seen Toy Soldiers. So.
Oh my goodness. Your assignment is someday watch that. Yeah, we'll have to do a review of that next week. That's the review next week. Not the review later today because it's after midnight, because I don't know what's going to be tonight. But we're talking about this movie and how awesome it is.
Yeah.
How awesomely 90s it is.
Oh, yes. This is one of the most 90s movies that I can think of. Like, it just screams 1997. Everything from the computers to the hacking. And I actually thought that they did a decent job with that aspect, especially in the beginning. You know, using an actual encryption key, which is something that actually was a thing, and they were kind of important. Although the finding the back door into this program, into a video game, was a little bit maybe on the nose. Maybe just a little bit. But there you go.
Especially for a game called Scream 2.
Yeah. And I always wondered, was it a game that he was downloading? Was it some sort of program?
I'm guessing it was a game.
I'm going to think that it was probably a game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
yeah, just so fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those you don't even. It's just. I would say it's almost like a popcorn flick, but it's not really because it's a little more serious than something like that. But it's just a fun movie just to sit down and veg and chill to. So.
And it surprisingly held up.
Mm-hmm. It
Like-
really did. I mean, we had to stream it online through Vimeo or so. It wasn't like the bestest of qualities, but
It's probably the best quality that it is
yeah,
available.
then it's going to be available. I mean,
Because
so,
it was never released.
but you're also talking about a digital copy of a ripped from a VHS tape. So,
Yeah. Um,
so it's surprisingly well considering all things considered.
yeah. But it was, I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen it as well. And I was I was pleasantly surprised, A, by how well it held up.
Yep.
In terms of kind of everything. I mean, it's very 90s, but
It's very dated. You can tell it's dated.
it was
still-
made in the 90s. So, you know, but
That's something sad to say. We're talking a movie from 1997 is dated.
20 years now.
I know,
So.
that's just crazy.
But I was surprised by, and I had forgotten that it's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cheesy, I don't really want to say cheesy. It was
It's a
just,
silly premise.
it's a silly premise, but it was a good movie.
Mhm.
It was a well-made movie. The dialogue was a little goofball
Mhm.
and cheesy at times, especially Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
He really, I bet he had a lot of fun shooting this movie. He did not have to take himself seriously at all. And I bet he had a blast with that because he just hammed it up. He was chewing that movie apart.
Mhm.
You know, I felt that it was actually a good movie. And it actually, like, the story actually had some depth to it.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but some. And I've always been a huge fan of Vincent Kartheiser. This was probably the first thing I saw him in, but I fell in love with him after I watched him in Crime and Punishment in Suburbia, which even to this day, that's still probably my favorite movie from the 90s.
And the soundtrack's awesome. The soundtrack is so 90s.
Hmm.
So,
This was an important movie soundtrack-wise, at least for us, because it introduced us to a band that we had no idea existed until we watched this movie.
yep.
When you were living in Nacogdoches, we watched it in your room,
Yep.
and we discovered Stabbing Westward.
Mm-hmm. That was our introduction to Stabbing Westward, and
Yes.
it was amazing. And then there was that song, Youth of America.
Mhm.
Who was that? That's
Bird Brain.
yes. And that was in the Scream movies.
Mhm.
So this movie was, well, I guess Scream did come out in 1997 or 96, I think.
I don't
So this
remember.
came out right after it. So Scream 2, yeah. So it could have been, they could have been hamming it up and they could have had a digital print of Scream 2. Which they wouldn't have because that movie came out in 2000. No, that's Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna before my conspiracy theories get all crazy. Great movie. Yes, very good movie.
Yeah. It was a. Yeah, this movie. This is a movie that encapsulated the 90s
Mhm.
for me. One of like probably 3 or 4 that when I think of the 90s, I think of this movie.
Wardrobe, hair, music, just and what is it about 90s movies is always set at a prep school?
Mm-hmm.
How many movies in the 90s were set in a prep school? And this was a very specific prep school. Tell me
Yeah.
what you said, what you discovered.
The set that they used for Shady Glen,
Which is the name of the school.
yeah, and the name of the school in the movie, is actually Hatley Castle, which is also Professor X's mansion. It's the X mansion, where they filmed all the original trilogy X-Men movies, which I don't I don't remember if they used the same place to film the new ones. I think they might have only used the exterior for the new trilogy that they did. And the interior they did on the soundstage. But in the original trilogy X-Men movies, they actually shot it inside. They actually filmed there, and as they did here.
So Professor X was there before Professor X was there.
Yeah, not very much before, but
Right.
some.
Because X-Men 1 came out in, what, 99? I think
Yep.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Now, I'm
But-
sure Patrick Stewart's like, hey, I got this great place that we can have a mansion at.
Yeah.
I know this great place. We'll have to fix the pool. But this great, great place. So,
Yep. But yeah, if you've never seen this movie, look it up. Please look it up. It's fun. It's 100 minutes. It's not super long, and you just kind of slide into it really, really easily.
yeah.
You know?
Don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
So,
Just look it up on Vimeo. Type in Matt. Tell you, this movie is a pain in the ass to try to find any information about too, because that stupid movie that came out last year that's called Masterminds.
mm-hmm.
Search for Masterminds. That's the one that's going to come up, and nobody cares about this movie. I care about. You have to type in Masterminds 1997 to be able to find it. And
That's
why can't we get a good release of this?
I don't know.
But there you go. Enjoy.
Masterminds. Good
Take
stuff.
a trip back to the 90s.
Yep, yep. Blessed be.